Asterisk. Waking up is your permission slip why your past is not your future. Asterisk. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I want to share something with you that came from a conversation I had recently with Sadaetirs Smith, someone whose wisdom cuts straight through the noise and lands right where you need it. Sadaetirs is making the world a better place by reminding us that waking up is not just biology, it's divine permission to start again. Their message is simple, direct, and life changing. Your past is not your future. Consistency beats overnight success, and every new morning is proof that God is giving you another chance to start again. So let's talk about what happens when you stop waiting for perfect conditions and just get up and do it anyway. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. You are not stuck because you lack talent. You are not stuck because you lack opportunity. You are stuck because somewhere along the way, you started believing that your past mistakes, your failed relationships, your stalled business ideas, or your dropped classes define what comes next. And they don't. They really don't. The turning point is not perfection. The turning point is getting up and trying again, even when you're scared, even when nobody else understands it yet, even when the last attempt didn't work out the way you planned. Let me tell you about a woman named Antwi. She's a Black woman who worked in finance in the UK, and she kept hitting walls, limited networking opportunities, no funding, low visibility. She felt invisible, isolated, unsure if her struggles were unique or if other Black women entrepreneurs were going through the same thing. Turns out they were. And that realization could have crushed her. It could have been the moment she said, "See, I knew this wouldn't work." But instead, she did something wild. She quit her finance job, took a job in a local shop to free up time and mental space, and built Black Founder Studio, a community interest company that supports early stage Black founders, most of them Black women, to take their businesses from idea to launch. Think about that for a second. She didn't wait for everything to be perfect. She didn't wait for everyone to believe in her. She got up, changed direction, and kept trying until her idea became a reality that now supports other Black entrepreneurs. She proved that you don't need everything lined up before you act. You start, and the support grows around you. That's what Sadaetirs Smith means when they say your past is not your future. Antwi's past was a finance job that didn't fit, a system that didn't see her, and a dream that felt impossible. Her future was built the moment she decided to stop internalizing what others thought and start building what she knew was needed. She walked away from stability. She took a job that probably confused everyone around her. She worked in a shop while building something that most people couldn't even see yet. And now, Black Founder Studio is a pipeline for businesses that might otherwise never have launched. She turned her frustration into fuel. She reframed rejection as redirection. She didn't let the world's limitations become her ceiling. Now, let's talk about Vanessa Best. Vanessa is the founder of Precision Healthcare Consultants, and she grew her firm into a $1 million business with more than 50 employees without venture capital. You know why? Because the bank said no. They wouldn't extend her a line of credit. As a Black woman in healthcare consulting, she faced systemic bias and underestimation of her business's potential. The traditional system did not see her company as fundable. So, what did she do? She treated certifications as capital. She obtained New York State Minority and Women Owned Business Enterprise status, SBA 8A, HubZone, Dub Bank, and NMSDC certifications to open doors that banks would not. She used subcontracting under larger prime contractors as tuition, learning how bigger firms budget, bid, and execute. She turned to a community development financial institution for financing when the bank said no. She invested in building strong networks that created multiple pathways for contracts and partnerships. Vanessa's daily decision to keep showing up, apply for one more certification, and learn one more contracting strategy reflects the core message. Success is not overnight, and you cannot build it by worrying about others' opinions. You build it by taking the next step. She refused to let past obstacles or external opinions determine her future. And she took repeated practical steps until the business broke through. That's consistency. That's what Sadaetirs Smith is talking about when they say consistency beats overnight success. Progress comes from small, repeated actions, sending one more email, showing up to one more class, making one more business decision, even after the last attempt didn't work out. Vanessa didn't throw a tantrum when the bank said no. She didn't internalize their rejection as a final verdict on her worth. She didn't sit around waiting for someone to validate her vision. She looked at what was in her control and she worked it, one certification at a time, one contract at a time, one relationship at a time. And now her company serves communities that are often excluded from clinical trials and mainstream care, adding social impact to financial success. She kept building even when traditional systems doubted her. And then there's Janice Bryant Howroyd. Janice grew up as one of 11 children in Tarboro, North Carolina, and was among the first Black students to integrate her town's high school. She grew up in the Jim Crow South, navigating segregation and being where the world didn't want her. She faced direct racism and exclusion as one of the first Black students to integrate. In 1978, she moved to California with about $1,500, borrowed $900 of it from her mother, set up a tiny front office in a Beverly Hills rug shop, equipped herself with a phone, a fax machine, and a list of contacts, and committed to becoming a recruitment agent who would open doors for others. Over time, she became the first Black woman to own and run a $1 billion business through her company, Act One Group. $1 billion from $1,500 and a phone. Janice's early years were marked by structural and personal rejection, segregated schooling, being among the first Black students to integrate, knowing what it feels like to be somewhere the world didn't want you. Those experiences could easily have led her to shrink back, worry about others' opinions, or settle. Instead, when she moved to California, she used a small amount of money and minimal equipment to start her own lane. Her story is about getting up, doing the work, and refusing to be defined by history, whether her personal past or the country's. Each morning was another chance to make calls, serve clients, and move one step closer to the future she wanted. That's what Sadaetirs Smith means when they say, use every new morning as proof that God is giving you another chance to start again. Waking up is an opportunity to reset, to try one more time at love, work, business, or school, and to choose courage over shame, faith over fear, and action over overthinking. So here's where I want to get real with you. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, but those women are different, they had something I don't have, I need you to stop right there, because that's the lie that keeps you stuck. That's the voice that says your past defines your future. That's the voice that says you need everyone's approval before you move. That's the voice that says you should wait until everything is perfect. And that voice is wrong. Antwi didn't have venture capital. Vanessa didn't have bank approval. Janice didn't have a trust fund or a safety net. What they had was a decision to get up, a decision to try again, a decision to stop letting other people's limitations become their ceiling. You woke up today. That means you get another shot. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to apply for the program or promotion you've been talking yourself out of? Are you going to revisit a paused business idea and take one concrete step? Call a potential client, register the LLC, update your plan? Are you going to go back to that class or certification you dropped and explore re enrolling? Because here's the thing, life is too short to stay stuck. Your past career situation doesn't have to be your future. If you wake up with breath in your body, you can take one more step toward the vision. And we didn't wait for perfect circumstances or approval. She got up, changed direction, and kept trying until her idea became a reality that now supports other Black entrepreneurs. Vanessa didn't stop when systems said no or when circumstances weren't perfect. She refused to let past obstacles or external opinions determine her future and took repeated practical steps until the business broke through. Janice didn't wait for the world to fully accept her before she moved. She moved, and in moving, she changed the world's expectations. And you can do the same thing. I want you to adopt a daily get up habit. Each morning, ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today to move my life forward? Then do that one thing, even if it's uncomfortable, even if nobody else understands it yet. Because the defining moment is not when everything falls into place. The defining moment is when you get up and do it anyway, instead of worrying about what people think. This is your soft girl era. This is the moment you stop carrying the cape. This is the moment you redefine strength. This is the moment you embrace softness, not as weakness, but as a radical act of self love. This is the moment you protect your peace as a practice. This is the moment you turn survival into something sacred. Sadaetirs Smith reminded me that our past is not our future, that consistency beats overnight success, and that every new morning is proof that God is giving us another chance to start again. And I'm passing that reminder on to you. So stop waiting for perfect conditions or everyone's approval before you move. Make one decision this week that reflects your faith, not your fear. Adopt a daily get up habit. Each morning, ask yourself what one thing you can do today to move your life forward. Then do that one thing. You woke up today. That means you didn't just survive another night. That means you were chosen to try again. That means your story isn't over. That means the dream you've been carrying, the one you've been too scared to speak out loud, the one that keeps you up at night, the one that feels too big or too impossible, that dream is still alive because you are still alive. And if it's still alive, it's still possible. So here's your assignment, not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. I want you to do one thing that scares you, one thing that moves you closer to the life you've been dreaming about instead of the life you've been settling for. One thing that reflects the future you want, not the past you've been dragging around. Send the email, make the call, fill out the application, register the business, go back to school, have the conversation, set the boundary, say no, say yes. Whatever it is, do it today because your past is not your future. Your mistakes are not your identity. Your fear is not your destiny. And every single morning you wake up is God's way of saying, I'm not done with you yet. Try again. So get up and do it.